Every piece of software you are running right now has bugs in it. Some of those bugs are security vulnerabilities, flaws that an attacker can exploit to take control of your system, steal your data, or crash your service. The vendor does not know about them. Their security team has not seen them. No patch is being prepared. An attacker who finds one of these flaws has what the security industry calls a 0-day, a vulnerability with 0 days of warning for the people who need to defend against it. Some 0 days sell for $2 million. Others destroy nuclear programs. The term 0-day refers specifically to the defender's position. They have had 0 days to prepare a fix. Once a vendor is notified of a vulnerability and releases a patch, that vulnerability is no longer a 0-day. It becomes an N-day, where N is the number of days since the patch was available. The window between patch release and widespread installation is itself dangerous, because attackers can now reverse engineer the patch to understand what was fixed and immediately exploit unpatched systems. But true 0 days, where the vendor has no knowledge, give attackers unlimited time with no defensive response possible. 0 days are found through several methods: manual code auditing, reading source code or decompiling binary applications, looking for logic errors, memory management mistakes, or input validation failures. Fuzzing, automated tools that feed thousands of malformed, random inputs to software and watch for crashes, which indicate memory corruption vulnerabilities. Hardware-assisted analysis using tools like debuggers and emulators. Differential analysis comparing two software versions to identify changes that reveal what was previously broken. The skill required varies enormously. Some 0 days require months of expert analysis. Others fall to automated tools in hours. Once a vulnerability is found, the finder faces a choice that defines the entire 0-day market. Responsible disclosure. Notify the vendor privately, give them time to patch, then publish your research. This is the ethical standard, and bug bounty programs pay researchers for doing this. Sell it on the gray market. Broker firms like Zerodium publicly advertise prices for 0 days, up to $2.5 million for a full iOS remote jailbreak with no user interaction. Or sell it to criminal markets or hostile actors on the dark web. The same vulnerability can go to a bug bounty, a government, or ransomware criminals, depending entirely on who the finder chooses. Government intelligence agencies are major buyers. The NSA, CII, GCHQ, Israeli Unit 8200, and their equivalents maintain stockpiles of 0-day vulnerabilities for offensive use. The logic is straightforward. A 0-day in a widely used product gives you access to adversary systems. If you report it to the vendor, you lose that access. Governments therefore have financial incentives to hoard vulnerabilities rather than disclose them. This creates a market tension with significant civilian consequences, as the Shadow Brokers incident demonstrated when those stockpiled vulnerabilities escaped and became WannaCry and not Petya. The life cycle of a 0-day in criminal hands typically follows a pattern: discovery or purchase, development of an exploit, the code that actually takes advantage of the vulnerability to do something useful, weaponization into a deliverable payload, packaging the exploit for deployment via phishing, drive-by download, or direct network attack. Operational use, attacking targets at scale before the vulnerability is discovered and patched. Once a 0-day is used at scale, defenders begin observing the attack pattern, the vulnerability gets analyzed, and the clock starts on a patch, converting the 0-day to an N-day. Bug bounty programs are the most direct market counter to the gray and black market for 0 days. When a company pays security researchers more than criminal buyers would, and does so legally and with public recognition, it creates an incentive structure that routes vulnerability discoveries toward defensive action. Google's Project Zero pays significant bounties. Microsoft's bug bounty program has paid out hundreds of millions of dollars. Apple's Security Research Device program provides special iPhones to researchers to encourage iOS vulnerability research that goes to Apple rather than brokers. Attack surface reduction is the most practical defensive response to 0 days. If a 0-day exists in software you are not running, it cannot hurt you. Removing unnecessary software, disabling unused features and services, enforcing least privilege so that a compromised process cannot access unrelated systems. All of these controls limit what an attacker can accomplish, even with a zero-day. Memory. Safe programming languages like Rust and Go eliminate entire classes of vulnerabilities, buffer overflows, use after free, that represent the majority of exploitable zero days in C and C++ code. Exploit mitigations at the operating system and hardware level make zero days harder to weaponize even when vulnerabilities exist. Address. Space layout. Randomization randomizes memory locations, making it harder to predict where code will land. Data execution prevention prevents code from running in memory areas designated for data. Control flow integrity limits, which code paths and exploit can redirect execution to. These mitigations do not eliminate zero days, but they force attackers to chain multiple techniques together, increasing complexity and the chance of detection. Zero days are the most expensive commodity in the cybersecurity market, and the most dangerous one. Because the defense has no warning, they exist until they are already being used. They are found by teenagers and intelligence agencies alike. They fund criminal enterprises and military operations. If you want to see a zero day at the center of the largest mass exploitation event in history, our video on the Move It attack, 1 0 day, 100 million people, covers exactly what one unknown vulnerability can accomplish when weaponized at scale. One unknown flaw can be worth millions. To see what a single zero day does when it is fired at the whole internet at once, the Move It attack, 1 0 day, 100 million people shows the scale. It is on this channel.